Hi there! If you're new to my sessions, these are the key takeaways you can expect after the session. I'll cover the Wyckoff stages for Bitcoin Cash, both in the weekly and daily time frames, key price levels for Bitcoin Cash to find support or resistance, and also any breakout timing indicated by the charts. So let's start with the weekly chart. Here, we're seeing a potential LPSY. Previously, I already put in the tag saying that's probably where a potential bounce is going to happen and may be rejected again by the yellow key level of $530 and heads towards a new accumulation cycle. So that was the discussion we had, and currently the bigger trend hasn't changed. So I'm keeping these percentages, well, probability the same, meaning towards the new accumulation cycle for Bitcoin Cash is more likely than heading towards setting a new high for this year. So let's switch on the Bollinger Band Corner Squeeze indicator. Currently, we are in a squeeze already. So the purple line at the bottom is within the orange. The top has just entered or touching the orange this week. Last week was close enough, so if you have been following my sessions, I consider we have started to squeeze last week already. So if you're new to this Bollinger Band Corner Squeeze indicator, what it indicates is subsequent bigger price movements are incoming. So you see this example here, a pretty flat period and then comes with bigger swings. Another short flat period and then another swing. Here, another swing. And it doesn't only indicate swinging to the upside, it's possible to swing to the downside as well. Alright, so when you use this Bollinger Band Corner Squeeze indicator, consider it as an early indication of potential bigger price fluctuations. Not that it's going to tell you whether the price is going to go up or down. Alright, so I use this together with Wyckoff and the playground zone or the channel boxes theory to help me see what's likely going to happen. So this is the big picture. And then let's get to the daily and see whether there are any timing indication. So the past 8 days, 9 days, the price has found support above this orange key level of $450. Okay? But then also for 6 days within the last 8 days, have I counted it correctly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, correct. The price was rejected beneath this green dashed line. That line is actually a level set by these candlesticks around the PSY, the preliminary supply period, and also the sign of weakness back just October 10th, 11th. So you see this level, right? Extend, if we count all the way towards November 2024, that's also where the PSY was. And obviously some rejections around the LPSY period subsequently. So as of now, yesterday it has broken through that level, and that's where it gets interesting because there's a triangle over there between this downtrend ceiling and also this green support line or resistance line, depending on where the price is. That level, the green dashed level, this cross that crosses the ceiling, is pointing towards somewhere around November the 10th. So if the price continues to trade within the yellow key level and the green dashed line, it will eventually get closer and closer to this breakout potential window. When that happens, towards the downside is nothing new because I shared many times these channel boxes or playground zones. You can consider that like a air hockey table. the price will basically bounce between the two edges as well as the center line. So if it comes to test the yellow key level and the ceiling, that's just an expected behavior, and it comes back down to challenge the orange and also the bottom edge of the box, that's expected. Okay, that's not like very crazy behavior. But if it doesn't comes down, if it comes to this triangle and breaks out to the upside instead, that's a totally different story, because that means the downtrend that started sometime in September for like almost 2 months now, that trend is going to be broken and a new trend will be drawn. So either it starts with breaking out and then trading sideways between the green and the yellow, continuing that sideways movement. And 20% to the upside, remember? If it breaks above the yellow and eventually this white line, that's the long-term playground zone ceiling, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So the long-term playground zone is an area that tracks the long-term price actions of Bitcoin Cash in this case. And about 80% of the time within this period, the price has been trading within that area. And we are within that area right now, actually. So if it breaks outside of this zone, that's a possibility for it to challenge the green key level of 615, which is something that we hope to see, but not necessarily the end of what we want to see. So reason, I'm just sharing this again because there may be new members to the community. Because I have shared previously about this pink box, this large pink box, is a declining peak trend. So if we count from the 2024 April buying climax and then eventually end of 2024, that same year, and also the peak we have gone through, that's a very flat period. You see the declining trend over there across like 1.5 years. If this time the price really bounces up and come challenge the green, we hope it doesn't end there. We hope it goes higher somewhere to at least the blue key level, light blue key level of $700. Because what that indicates is that it's going to break this peak downtrend channel. And why is important? Because it means if you are investing or speculating in Bitcoin Cash, you are not going through a diminishing return trend. Because if it really is the case, that means that further in future, the peaks of Bitcoin Cash is just going to get lower and lower. So I've shared previously, from that April peak to where we are, we have dropped 10%. So if every 1.5 years it drops 10%, there won't be much left after a few cycles. So if you're planning to stay with Bitcoin Cash for a long period of time, that's not somewhere you should put your money for long term, right? If you're trading these swings, just going in very briefly and then exit, that's not as big as a problem, because from the low point to the peak, there's still like 120% rise. Likewise for this time, almost 140% from the spring to the peak. So that's the thing for this one. It's only for long term. Like if it's short term trading, then you need to worry less, but still it's a risk for you, because if the peak is getting lower, that means your potential, assuming the bottom doesn't change, that's still a declining return for you. So even if you're trading short term, not as let's say the effect is not as much to you as those people that are trading longer term or holding Bitcoin Cash, like if they are diamond hands for Bitcoin Cash, Alright, so try to understand this, and that's why I was mentioning in the daily chart, if this really breaks outside of this downward channel box and heads like breaks to the upside all the way through the yellow, white, and green, those three key levels, and come to challenge the light blue, that's a very good story for Bitcoin Cash in terms of like its long-term value being kind of retained at least for 2025. If it doesn't break this, like by November 10th, if it still got rejected by the ceiling of the box, then like it's going to try to confirm whether this is really entering a new accumulation cycle. I know it may be disappointing for a lot of people because the peak just reached the point where we had back in December last year, but it may be what it is. At least it has climbed compared to some other altcoins after the 2024 December peak. They never climbed in this year, basically. So finger crossed that if it really goes up, let's challenge this 700 level. Thanks for joining me today. See you